Thank you. So to kick things off, I'd love to make this a really safe space and start with the things that perhaps haven't gone so well over the years. So obviously, selling into various regions, there's going to be a ton of mistakes that are made. The best way for us to learn is from the mistakes we make or the mistakes other people make. So I'd love for each of you to share one of the biggest mistakes in your career or a mistake that really stood out to you and what you learned from that and your advice. Ade, I'll start with you again.
Okay. I would say I was born in Nigeria but raised in Germany, so I'm very direct in my approach. So over the years, I've learned in a hard way that being direct most of the time doesn't work. Not everyone can handle it or likes it if you're direct. So throughout the years, I've learned how to be more diplomatic in when you want something from someone or when you need to relay an information to someone, not just say, okay, you are shit in this. Just try to say it in a nicer way so that they don't take it very personal. But yeah, definitely not be too direct all the time. Try to always assess the situation. Where can you be direct and where do you need to be more softer in your approach? So yeah, that's my learning and tip I would give.
I became AE when I was 20 and I came to the UK when I was 19. And the biggest misconception I had is that I need to nail down each cultural nuances and each regional differences before joining the call or before going and having a face-to-face meeting. And this led to kind of lots of stress and anxiety when preparing for that. It was very difficult to go there. And then kind of a big click for me was when the solution for this whole kind of situation was just to be a bit more curious and open-minded, even in the conversation with the prospect, and just actually trying to understand how they want to be perceived and also speak with you, and maybe ask the questions to understand their perception of everything which is happening. And then I just after that started to feel like doesn't matter if I'm speaking with someone from US or someone from Middle East, two absolutely different cultures in terms of how they behave. Just being open-minded, asking how do you want to have this conversation really worked for me.
Yeah, so yes to both of them, my experiences as well, 100%. And it's interesting, I think, learning through the experience that I've had, one thing I would say is to understand your audience. We do this generally when we're in sales anyway, right? It's like, who's the persona? Who am I trying to sell to? Is it a tech buyer? Is it a marketing buyer? Is it a C-level? Who is it? And I think the one thing that I've learned is to know who I'm speaking to and to then use that in the way that I then work with them. So very similar, and this has come from multiple experiences of not doing that. But I think really understanding and knowing your audience and not just trying to do things my way has been one of the biggest learnings that I've had, because my way isn't necessarily the way that they want to do business. So yeah.
Yeah, but I can't not agree with what you all said, but I think for me it's going to be much more going back to the basics. When I was starting my sales career about 12 years ago, and I was covering South Europe already and North Africa. And it was to take a yes for a yes, basically. And in different countries, yes doesn't really mean yes. I was covering as well Italy. And it's not because they want to lie to you, it's just because in some countries as well, it's not polite or rude to say no. So you can't really blame them. But I remember some forecast calls, I was like, yeah, don't worry, telling my boss, this deal is going to come in. The guy said, yes, it's going to come in 2-3 weeks, it just never came. And then the people start to ghost you, and you don't understand why. And it's just because they feel a bit ashamed of not being able to say no. But this is how they do business in this region. So now I'm doing DAR in my role, and I trust much more a German actually customer who tell me yes than an Italian guy or a French guy in my personal experience.